If you can't focus when you try to read anymore, there's a scientific reason why, and it's not your fault. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your brain fog actually gets worse every day you ignore it. I want to show you what's happening in your brain, why it started around 2012, and the things I did to completely reverse it. And the best part, you don't need to quit social media or do some extreme digital detox. You just need to understand what's been hijacked and how to take it back. When I was in the military, I started picking up books again. I wasn't really a reader growing up. I did okay in school, but I never had that deep focus that some people seem to have. Back then, I wanted to get sharp and think deeper. So I tried reading again. And honestly, it was brutal. I'd read a few pages and realize I hadn't absorbed a thing. Within minutes, I'd catch myself reaching for my phone without even realizing it. I started wondering if something was even wrong with me. Maybe I lost my edge and the focus I used to have was gone. Then I came across an article that completely opened my eyes. It was a piece from Financial Times about a massive study on cognitive performance. So it was reading comprehension, problem solving, and general knowledge. And what it found blew my mind. Starting in 2012, there was a sudden sharp drop across all those metrics. That's not a coincidence either. That's exactly when smartphones became universal and when we started to carry them around everywhere, checking them constantly, living in a state of distraction. But the wildest part, it wasn't just that people were more distracted. Around the same time, surveys showed huge spikes in people saying how they had difficulty thinking or concentrating. And reading rates, they collapsed. Teens who said they hardly ever read skyrocketed, while those reading almost every day dropped off a cliff. Same year, same inflection point. Our brains have been rewired to expect constant stimulation, quick dopamine hits, and something new every few seconds. And reading, which is slow, deep, and requires sustained attention, suddenly felt unnatural. But here's the bigger problem. It creates a cognitive death spiral. When your brain gets used to fast stimulation, two things happen. One, you struggle to use the intelligence you already have, and two, you stop doing the things that make you smarter, like reading. Once I realized this wasn't just me and that my brain had literally been rewired, I stopped blaming myself. And here's the crazy part. It didn't take a massive life overhaul or quitting tech completely. It came down to a few small changes that started reversing that fog within weeks. And I want to walk you through exactly what worked. The first thing that made a huge difference, I started leaving my phone in another room when I read. Not on silent, not flipped over, but gone. Even when your phone's off, your brain is still monitoring for it, quietly draining attention in the background. That's called cognitive load. Once I started leaving my phone in the kitchen, that mental tug disappeared. It felt weird for a few days, but then I eventually stopped thinking about it. My focus sessions went from 5 minutes of frustration to 45 minutes of flow. Another big change, reading at the same time every day. Pick one time and protect it. Morning coffee, lunch break, bedtime, whatever works. Your brain loves patterns. When you do something consistently, it becomes automatic. It stops being a decision and just happens. For me, it's reading in the evening. I don't debate it, I just do it. The next thing that helped, starting small. Like, really small. Forget I'll read for an hour and just promise yourself 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes feels easy, so you actually start. And once you start, you often keep going. That's how I rebuilt my reading habit. 10 minutes turned into 20, and 20 turned into 30 or 45 minutes. And now it feels effortless. Another game changer, physical books only during focused reading time. Screens are designed for distraction. Even e-readers can pull your attention because your brain associates screens with quick dopamine hits. With a real book, there are no notifications, no tabs, and no temptation. And studies show you remember more from print, the tactile feedback, and the layout. It all helps your brain store the info. Plus, no blue light at night means better sleep and less brain fog the next day. I also learned to single task when I read. No music, no TV, no podcasts, and no background noise with lyrics. Multitasking isn't real. Your brain is just switching back and forth, leaving traces of attention behind. That's called attention residue. Once I stopped splitting my focus, something amazing happened. My brain slowed down in a good way, and deep reading started to feel natural. And I also had to let myself be bored. When restlessness hit, I didn't reach for my phone. I just sat with it. At first, it sucked. My brain craved that dopamine hit it was used to. But over a couple of weeks, reading stopped feeling boring. I got absorbed, and I enjoyed it again. That's your brain recalibrating. But what about audiobooks? They're great for driving, chores, or yard work, but not focused reading. You're usually multitasking, so it's passive. Use them as a supplement, not a replacement. Videos and podcasts, they give you ideas, but when you read, you do the thinking. That's how you build comprehension and real intelligence. Brain fog too bad to even start? Start with 5 minutes. Reading is both the symptom and the cure. It took me 3 weeks before it felt natural again. Every page is a rep for your attention span. Brain fog isn't permanent. It's just your brain reacting to an environment built to hijack your focus. These changes brought mine back, and they'll work for you too. Try this tonight. 20 minutes, 1 chapter, phone in another room. See what happens. You might be shocked at how quickly your focus returns once your brain gets space to breathe. And if you want to take it even further, if you want reading to become automatic, not something you force, check out this video next. It's the simple system I use to build a reading habit that actually sticks. Keep learning, keep growing, keep going, and I'll see you in the next one.